We are in the parlor. Here we are talking about mind, dreams, myths, and some stories we'll make up. This piece is going to be the second part of that file I called the 11th hour. We see how the story ends. Well, if you see that one, you just pick it up from here, right? Now it's a Friday dream. I dreamt that I'm in bed beside my girlfriend, right? That's one scene. And the next scene, we are outside the apartment. We are standing face to face, and she is holding a garden hose between us, and water is just pouring out of this. And I said to her, "Why are you holding this hose between us?" And immediately the water became a fine mist and covered us both. And I looked through the mist, and I could see her face. Like in a movie when you see people frozen in ice, eyes open, face is still. Scary sight. So with that, I run around the building. I come to the door of the apartment. I'm pulling this door, and it's like stuck. And I'm thinking, hey, some evil spirit is holding this door. But I wouldn't let up. I just keep pulling until it opened. And I looked in. I see she is like sitting on the bed and crying. And beside her is a long structure covered with a bed sheet. And I think, you know what this is? I am dead. That's my body covered there. And that's why she's crying. But it can't be, because I just left her outside. So I think to myself, she is having a nightmare. And I run out that room screaming, she's having a nightmare. I am awake. She's having a nightmare. I am awake. And as I open the door to where we would be outside, I noticed the mist had been straight down like a curtain. And I wake up. And I say, well, it came to me like I am having a nightmare, but I said, who is having a nightmare and who is awake? Then I remember in the Ramayana story, when Sita told Ram, look, there's a golden deer, get the deer for me. She was not all right. She was having a nightmare. And in the Mahabharata story, when Panchali was dragged by the hair into Dhritarashtra's court, she was like screaming something. She was saying, did Yudhishthira lose me before he lost himself or after he lost himself? Because if he had already lost himself, he cannot lose me. You see, she was and she was saying this over and over, like she was having a nightmare. So my conclusion is that I am awake, she's having a nightmare. Now, the next Friday, I dreamt, I come to my apartment, and the first thing I notice, the fridge, dirty all around. Like somebody doesn't want me to open this fridge. So I go to the bedroom, I open the door. It's a little bit dark in there. And I see a heap of clothes on the bed. And I say, hey, but I don't own that much clothes. I say, you know what it is? My girlfriend left. And before she left, she took all my clothes, bed sheet, towel, everything that is cloth, and piled it up on the bed. That's what it is. So I reached to turn on the light. And as I reached for the light switch, I said, hey, I am drunk. And I wake up. And as I wake up, I'm thinking to myself, am I drunk? Then I remember when Ram went to get that golden deer, he was not all right. He knows there is no golden deer, or maybe he doesn't know because he was drunk. When Yudhishthira lost in that gambling match, you can see as he was losing, he was becoming intoxicated. And, well, in that piece there, when Dushashan came and told Yudhishthira, come back for one last stroke. And what's his name? When Yudhishthira started to go back into the court. His brothers and their wife, Panchali, said, don't go. And Yudhishthira says, you know I cannot refuse. Why he cannot refuse? He was intoxicated. So with that true story, I'm thinking to myself, yes, maybe I am drunk. So now I am drunk and she is having a nightmare. I think the both are related. They happen at the same time. When the mind is drunk, the emotion becomes having a nightmare. You could say he doesn't know which way is what. We'll just say it like that. Now the next Friday I dreamt, I'm in a big hall. There's a young girl there. There's always a young girl in my dream. Eh? We talk for a little bit, and then I see a man coming to the door on the other side. He looked both sides. I could see his face is spaced out, like he doesn't know where he is. And then, after a while, I heard, this man is in the bathroom and he's dead in the toilet. So I went to see. As I went to the toilet stall there is a man in front of the door on his knees. He's looking in. And I thought, I am dead. That's my body on the toilet there. And this man is an investigator. He's looking at the situation. And as I went, the man said to me, look at this TV screen. Is that beautiful? And I said, yeah, it's beautiful. It's sharp and bright. And he says, can you say, this is a good screen, go and get one before 7 o'clock? Something like that. And I said, no, I can't say that. Could that sound like a commercial, advertisement for the screen? No, I don't want to do that. Then I wake up. And I say, now, this is it. I am dead. And then the next week I dreamt, I am like fixing a harmonica. Both sides metal strip is loose and I'm fixing that. And behind me there is a big man, pacing side to side. I mean, the kind of big man you see, scary, you know. And I looked back at him and I said, are you fixing on doing something? He said, yes, I am fixing on killing you. And he struck me with something big on my lower back. I fell. And when I wake up, I think to myself, you can think about death and dying, but you cannot think yourself to death. At some point, you have to be killed. Now, I'm not talking about death and dying like when you're dead, funeral and things like that. I'm talking about in a religious context, you know. There's a state of transformation or something like that. Then, the next week I dreamt, I am building a house. I am alone building this house, and I know it is not my house. So I left this place, and I walk in a southerly direction. I come to a house, the front door is open. I look in, and I see a man with a plate going from one room to the next. And I thought, he just got a plate of food from one room, maybe the kitchen, and he's going to another room. And I went around the house, and behind the house, there is like a 1-inch diameter iron rod going straight up to the second floor window. And I'm standing on this rod, iron rod. And I did think for a second, how is it that I climbed this iron rod and it's standing on a 1-inch diameter rod? But I didn't think much about that. So, and I look into the window and there's a young girl inside. And she's moving around like she's doing something. And I thought, if she looked back and see me, she might become scared. How did anybody reach way up here? So I came down and I'm walking out. I'm walking south. To my right, I see a big tree, like an orange tree. As we say, laden with fruits, but not orange. Green Congo pepper. The kind I like to bite into when I'm eating curry, say. And I pick a lot of pepper. I fill up all my pockets. And I continued walking south. I come to like a crossroad junction there. And while I was in the middle of the intersection, 4 men with like 4 metal gates just bring up the 4 sides and box me in. Only for 2 seconds or so. Then it dropped down, and I continued walking south. And I see a narrow road going east to west. And I came down onto this road, and there I woke up. Now, when I wake up, I'm thinking to myself, what house we are always building? We are never belong there, because we move on and we build something else. You always want to do something else, isn't it? And anyway, you leave this place, you go somewhere. But where do you go? Now, the next week I dreamt I'm on top of a high mountain. And the dream starts there, and I'm thinking, how did I come to be here? I don't know. But anyway, I should go down. There's 2 houses there. I go between the houses to the back of the house, and it's a cliff. But I cannot go, so I turn back around. And then I come again to another cliff. And I look in the distance, and there's houses, red brick houses, not plastered. But then a cliff, I cannot go, so I had to turn back. I always have to turn back. And again I come to a cliff, and I look down below. There's a long stack of red bricks. I see a big truck came, and like mechanical arms come out, go around, pick up this heap of bricks, put it onto the truck, bring it up, clamp it. And then I saw a man come, and as if putting down one pin to lock the whole thing. And he went into a shed. And I thought I'd go and ask him, where is this place? How did I come to be here, you see? But somehow I did not talk to him. And I turned back again. It's a cliff. I had to turn back again. Until by now, I am at the foot of the mountain. Just small slope. I see some small houses on the right, and I go down. And I come to like a town, a big street. Like a town we would find, well developed. People moving about. And I see a young man there, and I ask him, where is this place? What is the name of this place? And he looked at me like he doesn't know what I'm saying. And I said, I don't belong here. How did I get here? Look at my clothes. Do I look like I belong here? He doesn't answer. So I thought, well, you know what? I'll go back up the mountain. However I come to be there, I should be able to get off. So as I'm going up the mountain, I reached the foot of the mountain, and it started to rain. So well, now I'll never make it up this mountain in this rain. I should go back to the town, at least shelter the rain. And as I turn around, I notice the street has changed. It's a different street, different buildings. I said, no, that's a funny one. I just turn around and it's a different place. So anyway, I follow that road, and I see like a taxi stand, not a taxi there. And I thought, I'll just go and take a taxi and say, take me to the bus station or an airport or something. I should be able to get home. And as I got near, all the taxis left. Now damn. Then I look in the distance, I see a line of people like waiting for the bus. And I go to the guy at the front of the line, and I ask him, what is this place? Where is this bus going? And he answered me like, if you ever see Charlie Brown, whenever an adult is talking to Charlie Brown, you'll hear, wah, 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 like that. He sounded like that. And I wake up, and I'm thinking to myself, now what this could be, you see, in this life, you are really lost, always lost. You never really know where you are, but what is the path that takes you somewhere? Is the line of thinking. See, how like I say, I make it up, right? There is no directions or instructions in this life. You have to find your own way by thinking. And this is what it's about, why we are lost, frustrated, and things like that. See, in this one story, student said to the master, Master, I cannot calm my mind. The master said, give me your mind, I'll calm it. The student said, when I look for the mind, I can't find it. The master said, yeah, it is calm. So what is this about? See, movement is the nature of mind. What we call thinking is the nature of mind. The mind is at peace when it is thinking. Else, there is no mind. And we say, if you can't quiet the mind, give it to a master. He'll tell you what you're thinking. He'll quiet your mind. In another story, this one I got from the Kung Fu movies. The priest said to some guys there, he said, there's 3 places evil cannot go. In a prison, in a Buddhist temple, and under a hut made of leaves. So I wonder, what is this all about? See, in a prison, in the morning, bright and early, the gate slams open, just like in the movies. Bang! Everybody's up. Breakfast is served. 11 o'clock, another gate open. You go to the courtyard, walk around. 12 o'clock, another gate open to the cafeteria. You go and eat. 6 o'clock, this. 9 o'clock, lights out, everybody go to bed. You see, there is no thinking, there's nothing to think about. So, well, this is what this story is about. Evil cannot go into a prison because there is nothing to think. There is nothing to think about, there is no frustration. But what is the evils we suffer? Evil cannot go. Frustration, boredom, restlessness. These are the evils that we suffer in the mind. And the same thing in a Buddhist temple. See, all the rituals are laid out. Sunrise, you wake up. We say our prayers. We have our breakfast. We do some work. We eat. We say our prayers. We do some ritual. We go to bed on time. Everything is laid out for you. There is nothing to think about. The thinking has been done for you. So evil cannot come there. And the same thing like in a hut made of leaves. You will see that story I covered, I call the tree. The leaves are all your thoughts. If you have thoughts, surrounded by thoughts, and you're thinking, you're formulating, not out of boredom, out of clarity, for clarity, you see, you're constructing something. The mind is at peace because the nature of mind is movement, activity, thinking. So now with that in mind, I want to say, be at peace. Think a little bit. I am Aten Raj Indra Nath, interpreter.